So what is request dispatcher we have to see today. If you see, we have done an application till now, like in a single application, like we have done registration and we have done login. But after registration, it will go to the login page usually. But in our application, we have done separately. We have to combine those two things. Like here, username, password. Yeah, everyone can see the screen, right? Abhilash, can
Yeah.
you see the screen? Yeah, fine. Pratisha, everyone can see the screen actually. Just check it once. So basically, when I just say a registration, it will have four values. Those four values are getting transferred from HTML to servlets, servlets to database. Okay, so this is a thing you can say, like, and we have a database. And now you are sending to the database. First web server will be there. Along with the web server, we have registration servlet, and after the registration servlet, we can say login servlet. I'm just giving an overview, right? And we have one more thing known as what? Login. So for login, how many text box will be there? Two text box, a button. Simple thing. So this is what you can say, the applications. I'll just give you the names first of all. So here you can say login, uh, register.html, and here you can say login. So what is this thing you can say, form you can say login.html. Okay, so web server, register servlet, and login servlet. Here login.html is there. So after that login.html, we have the welcome, or you can say home.html, because home page will be coming after login, right? Now where the values will be transferring? From where to where? Like first what will happen?
First homepage HTML అవుతుంది execute అవుతుంది.
Like home means after login we can say, right? First we'll directly link to register.
Okay,
Okay,
register.html.
yeah, so what I'll do, I'll just go with register. When I give the values are taken by whom? Web server. And from web server, who is taking? These values are taken by the register servlet. And this registration servlet, what will happen? It will register based on insert command. Based on insert command, right? And after the insert, where it has to go? From here, it has to go to the particular
Login page.
login.html. Means this code must be included actually, because we'll get a message. What is that message? Registered successfully.
Login.
Registered successfully. Please log in. Right? means it has to go to login.html, or it has to include, what it has to do, include this particular login. So that's the thing you can say. In this scenario, what you're trying to do, register successfully, please log in order to, so this login code must be included in the registration servlet, right? So what will happen, this entire code will be included inside the here, like include.html. Next, when I give the values like xyz and pqr, what should happen, these values will be taken by the web server, and web server will interact with the particular, what you can say, login servlet. It will go to the login servlet. In login servlet, what will happen, select command, by using the select command, if the values are there like username and password matches, username and password matches, what should happen, forward to home.html, home.html, else include the login.html. Why include? Because the message will be coming. And if you want some message, along with that message, if you want to execute a code, then we have to include the file. And if you want to transfer the control from one page to another page, we have to use the forward. So how it is done, we have to see. First, simple, register.html. After registration, it will be going to the, it will include the particular login.html inside the register servlet, and this register servlet should be transferred from, like, it will execute the login.html, and when I give the values, these are taken by the web server. Web server is giving to the login servlet. Why? Because we give the URL pattern, right? So now if the login username and password matches, then forward to home.html, else include the login.html. Okay, so in this request dispatcher, if you want to see the methods, what we have, java p space java x dot servlet dot, or you can say request dispatcher. Okay, so in this request dispatcher we have only two methods. What are the two methods you have? One is forward, one is include, right? Forward and include itself. What is forward? You can say it will transfer the control from one particular servlet to another servlet or JSP or HTML. Include means it will include the code into the existing servlet, and it might be a JSP or a servlet or a HTML. Anything it can include. Okay, so this is the particular scenario. Two methods are there. One is void forward. What we have, request comma response object, request comma response object, and the same way we have one more thing known as what, void include, request comma response. So what do you mean by here request comma response? One is including the code, one is forwarding the code. So I want to call these methods. Where these methods are present, request dispatcher. Can you create the object for request dispatcher here? No. Why? Because it's an interface. For interface we can't create the object, right? So what you have to do now, we have to search for a method like java p space java x dot servlet dot servlet request. In this we have a method. What's that method? You can say request dispatcher. What is it? Request dispatcher. So what do you mean by request dispatcher now? The get request dispatcher is a method whose return type is a request dispatcher. Means it's a factory method. A method which generates the object of request dispatcher, like subclass object you can say, because it's a factory method and its parameter is a string. So what is that string you can say? The URL pattern. అంటే నెక్స్ట్ లింక్ ఏంటిదో అది ఈ string లో మెన్షన్ చేస్తాం. That might be a servlet, JSP or a HTML. Okay, and this request dispatcher is the object it generates. Where you can find this thing in servlet request. What is servlet request? One thing is we have a method known as get request dispatcher. The parameter is nothing but a string. And in this thing, what is it? A request dispatcher is the return type. So how to call this get request dispatcher? By using servlet request object. Who is generating the servlet request object? It is generated by the servlet engine itself. Okay. So now the first thing I want to call this method, like what you do, a request dispatcher. We have space rd equals to request dot get request dispatcher, and that is nothing but you can say another like login.html and rd dot include request comma response, right? But here we can write another way. What is another way? You can say request dot get request dispatcher login.html. Here login.html will generate an object like system.out.println, right? Request dot request get request dispatcher dot include means no need of creating a reference now. Directly in a single line we can write the code. Like this is the single line code, this is 2 lines of code. The functionality is same, but mostly when you include this line of code must be included, like written in the code. Okay, so what do you understand here? That request dot get request dispatcher login.html, where the particular include method is used to include the code of login.html inside the servlet. Or we have one more thing known as what, rd dot include or forward you can say. So what is it? Forward request comma response, and the same thing you can do it for forward also. Like what do you have? Instead of include, just we have to give it as forward, right? So mostly we follow the single line of code in industry. Don't waste that reference, just directly give the particular reference like object only. Okay, so next rd dot forward and include, we have to do these things in a particular application known as a register app. Like we have done an application, right? So what is the application name? Registration app. Already we have login, already we have register. First register, open the register, go over the classes. In the registration servlet, what you have to do? It has to be linked. Linked in the sense, when you register, after registration, it's saying hello user, username, right? But I have to send this particular code, or you can say include the particular code. What code you want to include? Like here, request dot get request dispatcher, what we have, login.html, and in this we can say include request comma response object. So when you are doing this thing, it's nothing but after the registration, like print ln, what you're trying to do, registered successfully, Now login, right? So it has to go to the login.html, or directly you can use /login.html. Okay, now save this file. We have to compile it again. Remember that if the wrong details is going, it has to go to, what you can say, register.html, because if you are giving the wrong details, so register.html. Okay, and next after this, what we have, like I'll just remove the center tag, or you can say h1 tag. So remove the h1 tag, save this file. So now compile. Before compiling, when you say login, what should the login be done? Like here, when you say that username and password is successful, user logged in successful, instead of that, what is that line you have to do? Request dot get request dispatcher. Instead of login, we have to say it as slash home.html. So you have to write a home.html now. Now user details are invalid, so it should give the user details are invalid, and it should go for the login.html. It's not forward, it's include means the code will be included, right? So I'm just removing the h1 tag because it's that size high is more, right? So now save it again. Now we have to write a home.html. Before that we'll compile. So I'm just deleting the servlet classes. Now I have to copy the address bar, next go for the command prompt, and this thing e-drive cd space that java c space register servlet.java, and next java c space login servlet.java. So just we have to write the html. What html? You can say the login html, right? Sorry, home.html. So html, and body will be what? bg color equals to some what? Wheat. What we write in the center? Welcome home page. So body like html, and what we have, we should have h1 tag also. So I'm giving the h1 tag. So I'm just saying you again, home.html, tomcat, and this tomcat web apps home.html must be kept inside registration app. Simple, nothing but first request will be going to register.html. After the registration.html, it will go to the register servlet. ఈ registration servlet లో what is that? Please log in. So they include the login.html. Then here after logging, it will go to the login servlet. Login servlet select command చేసేసి, if it is true, forward to home.html. Wrong, include the login.html, right? So everything is done. I'll go and start the particular application. Bin tomcat 7 and just say yes. సో ఒక సర్వ్లెట్ నుంచి ఇంకో సర్వ్లెట్ కానీ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ కానీ జేఎస్పీ కానీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయాలి అనుకుంటే డాట్ లైక్ రిక్వెస్ట్ డిస్పాచర్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఇంక్లూడ్ అన్నా ఫార్వర్డ్ అన్నా. ఇంక్లూడ్ అంటే ఒక కోడ్ అనేది ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ సర్వ్లెట్లో ఇంక్లూడ్ అయిపోతుంది. అది హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ కావచ్చు, సర్వ్లెట్ కావచ్చు, లేదా ఒక జేఎస్పీ ఫైల్ కావచ్చు. ఓకే, అండ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ అంటే ఆ కంట్రోల్ అనేది ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవుతుంది ఈ పర్టికులర్ అప్లికేషన్ నుంచి వేరే అప్లికేషన్కి, రైట్? సో ఐ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టు గో ఫర్ ది register. So login చేసిన ముందు రిజిస్టర్ చేస్తున్నాం, register.html, right? So I'm giving a name like Kiran 432525. and kiran@gmail.com, right? So register. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుందంటే మీకు ఇప్పుడు ఇంక్లూడ్ అనే మెథడ్ వస్తుంది, అంటే రిజిస్టర్డ్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్లీ నా లాగిన్. ఇప్పుడు ఈ మెసేజ్ ఎలా వస్తుంది, ఇంక్లూడ్ అనే మెథడ్ పెట్టాం కాబట్టి వస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు రిజిస్టర్ అవుతున్నారో ఈ రిజిస్టర్ సర్వ్లెట్లో ఈ మెసేజ్ రాసిన తర్వాత నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను, రిక్వెస్ట్ అనేది ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను. అదే ఇంక్లూడ్ కాకుండా ఫార్వర్డ్ చేస్తే ఈ మెసేజ్ రాదు. ఓకే, సో దట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ యూ కెన్ సే. నా లాగిన్ చేయాలి. ఎలా లాగిన్ చేస్తున్నాను నేను, సేమ్ కిరణ్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది, వెల్కమ్ టు హోమ్ పేజ్. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ఏమైంది, ఫార్వర్డ్ అయింది. లైక్ వేర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్, ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ పర్టిక్యులర్ పేజ్ టు ది ఫార్వర్డ్ home.html. బట్ సపోజ్ నేను పాస్వర్డ్ తప్పించాను, లైక్ సమ్ అదర్ థింగ్, వాట్ ఇట్ షుడ్ డూ, యూజర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఆర్ రా ఇన్వాలిడ్, యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. జనరల్గా మనకి ఒకవేళ యూజర్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్వాలిడ్ అయినప్పుడు ఇలానే వస్తుంది కదా, మెసేజ్ అండ్ లైక్ యూజర్ నేమ్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. బట్ దీంట్లో ఏమవుతుందంటే డిజైన్ పార్ట్ మిస్ అవుతుంది. ఏంటో డిజైన్ పార్ట్ మిస్ అవుతుంది, లైక్ హియర్ ఐ విల్ నాట్ యూజ్ ది సెంటర్ ట్యాగ్. సెంటర్ ట్యాగ్ యూజ్ చేస్తే దట్ జస్ట్ రిమూవ్ ది సెంటర్ ట్యాగ్ ఆల్సో. సెంటర్లో వస్తుంది కదా, సో ఐ జస్ట్ రిమూవ్ దట్ సెంటర్ ట్యాగ్. I have to change the design part now. How to change the design part? We'll see that thing. Login. So I just separated a few files for your reference, the HTML files. Basically, for anything, index will be common. What is index means? If you see here, if I don't give any file, like if I don't mention register.html or login.html, if I just enter, what is happening? It will give a blank page, like a page will not be reachable, right? But I just made few files for reference. This index.html will have a particular login, register and contact us. Okay, so just give me a second. Here when you click login, what's happening, login.html, enter username, enter password. When you click register, what's happening, enter username, password, mail and phone number, right? This I will include in our project. How to do that? Simple. Just see here and just copying all the files, right, one after the other. Okay, so before copying, removing this, I'll just show you one thing. We have to check whether the username and the password, like names, are same or not, right? So I'll just rename this as login1.html and here register1.html. I'm copying all the files here and pasting them in this particular scenario. Okay, now what is the things you want to remove? Register one, login one. Okay, and just I'll remove these things from our application. So these are new files. What are the new files? You can say if you open the login, you're getting this particular file, right? So home means home, login, registration. So just remove this thing. Now what are the things I've said you to have a similarity? The action tag must match with the URL pattern, and the particular username name attribute must be matched with the register servlet, right? So first open the particular servlet things. I'm opening a register servlet. So what is it names we have? We have username, password, mobile and email. These are the four things it's required, right? So I'll open a particular register.html. So I'll not open with WordPad. I'll open with the text file. Like we have a particular open with Notepad, right? So first search for a thing known as what? Action. Why action? Because here that dot slash register must be there, similar to the particular web.inf, web.xml. Like here, what is it? Dot slash register. So you have to copy the same thing and paste it here, like dot slash register. If it is different, you have to copy paste it. Now here, what is it? You name, you can say username, whether it's same or not. Yeah, it's this particular username is same, right? Here and here it's same. Password, the password here and the password here are same, right? Mobile, so here it's phone. So what you have to change here? Instead of phone, we are just have to keep it as mobile. Okay, and now email is there, and here also it's email. So fine, everything is fine. So don't change anything in the register.html. Now coming to what? Go for the login. Just open with Notepad. What you have to do? Search for the action tag. Why action? In this action URL pattern and the web.xml action URL pattern must be same. So slash login is there. So it's fine. Both are fine. Now next, what are the things we have to change here? The name. Username is there and password is there. Where you have to match these things? In the login servlet. So I'll open the login servlet. Right? So what we have here? Login servlet. So here the username is there, password is there, but here it's home.html, right? So we have to make sure that we have a home.html itself. So registration app, instead of home.html, I'll go with the welcome, or rename this as home.html, right? So when you log in, what page it should come, it will display. So I just made a lot of changes, right? So I'll just start the server and say yes. And sometimes it may not take effect because of the cache. You know that cache memory will be there, right? Whatever the files you will be having, those files will be stored in the cache memory. So if I just give this localhost colon 8088 slash registration app, now I won't give any file. So default file will be index.html. So when you run this thing, you'll get the default index.html. This is the same code. I just changed the HTML parts, means ఒక project లో ఉన్న files ని తెచ్చుకొని ఇక్కడ పెట్టాను అంతే. Then register. What is that register? You can say register.html. Why you are getting this page means cache memory is loading that. For that reason, change, like delete the history. It will be the solution. Just clear the browsing data of the past hour, then you will have these things like clear the browsing data. నేను ఇప్పుడు just enter చేస్తున్నాను, change అయిపోయింది, right? When I click login, you are getting login. So now register here properly. So what are the names you can say? I'm giving Lavanya. So what is that name? Again the same thing @gmail.com. Okay, so now after that, what you have to give? Phone number. So here you have to just enter the 10 digits, and what will happen? 580280. Okay, so next register. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏమవుతుంది? రిజిస్టర్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అని ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది. Just wait. We got the register successfully here, but we can change that using JavaScript. But after registration, it got to login. So after login, what you have to do? The same username and password, login. So welcome page, you got the deposit, withdrawal, balance, inquiry, but we haven't written anything, right? You can log out. Log out means it will again come to home page. Now when you say that username and password are wrong, what will happen? Lavanya, sorry, when I said username password are wrong, right? I give the correct values. So here, what's it saying? User details are invalid. Like we can change this thing using JavaScript, but we got the again user page itself, like login page. It's not logging in, right? So idi, like what I have done, I didn't do anything new in the Java code. Just the front end pages, already developed things I have downloaded, like separately I've kept, and I'm using the same things. Okay, so you can do the same things if I send you these files. Just you have to remember that the most important thing will be the action element in the URL pattern should be same. The username, name, and the particular retrieving elements must be same. Okay, and the order must be according to the database. That's it. If you remember all these things, you can execute the application yourself. So now what is it? After this, I'll say the particular JSP. Tomorrow I'll start the JSP because I have a lot of concepts in servlets, but once I start the JSP, again I'll come back to servlets. Okay, the design part will change. What are the drawbacks of this particular servlets and why you're using the JSP? Okay, and next after the JSP, again I'll tell the sessions, cookies. So the sessions and cookies are the most important concept. So for that, we should know what is HTTP servlet. So next JSP, again coming to servlets, then you'll have an entire application. Okay, so this is the things till now. So you have to do the same things. I'll send you the HTML files.